I wanted to straight chat about how we have gotten to a pretty comfortable rank in Street Fighter 6 where I'm kind of like, you know, I feel like I understand the game to a certain degree. I feel like I actually am kind of enjoying the gameplay still to this point. And I didn't really want to do a review on the single player content because my god, dude, I have not played any of the fucking single player content in this game at all. I haven't played the arcade modes. I've barely done combo trial challenges. I have barely put any time into the world tour, which for several people is like the pretty much why you are buying this game. Is it still fun after a week? Is it still fun after 2 weeks? Is it still fun after a month? And now we're like a month and several days out. This game is so much goddamn fun. It's so much fun. And I'm trying to like be concise with my feelings of why I think it's so much fun outside of just like the online. The online has some issues with like ranked matchmaking and stuff. I thought 1v1 Street Fighter maybe wasn't for me anymore. And maybe I just kind of like old school 1v1 Street Fighters, much less Third Strike, but that's a big, you know, wrench into the formula of Street Fighter. I was kind of thinking maybe after Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter like 5, maybe I'm not just the biggest fan of 1v1 Street Fighter and playing grounded footsies. However, I absolutely love the footsies of Third Strike. I love it. I love the whiff punishing of Third Strike. I think it's wonderful. This game seemingly just copied it, right? They took almost identical frame data in most situations of how you punish footsies and you whiff punish in this game. They do almost the identical shit. So I absolutely feel like the grounded footsies in this game feel very fun. And that's because characters are capable. You get really good buttons. You get good cancelable buttons. Footsies lead to good damage in this game. And that's kind of unique. What was the big thing in Street Fighter 4? Anti-airs led to really good damage for a lot of characters. In this game, it's a bit different. Your grounded footsies will lead to good damage. Talking a bit about green stuff. Yeah, Drive Rush is oppressive. It's better for some characters than it is for others, but I don't think it's a make it or break it part of the game. People just don't want you to have a free way in any way, right? In any game that's like a grounded footsie fighting game. However, every single fighting game that's a grounded footsie fighting game has some crazy bullshit in it that is a interrupter to the grounded footsies, right? So if you just want to play a grounded game against somebody in any fighting game, I tell you almost with 100% guarantee, there is some stupid ass thing that you can do that just says, ignore footsies, I can get in and do crazy stuff. But Drive Rush is exactly what we thought it was going to be, even pre-release of the game, even pre-beta, where, oh, you're going to run in on somebody after a knockdown and use this for Oki. It's obvious Oki. Instead of Street Fighter 5, where it was really hard to tell when your turn was, because so many things were like plus in Street Fighter 5. Now they made it very obvious, dude. Now it's like, oh, if you're doing big green shit, there's a solid chance that it's going to be plus, and you have to respect it. So visually, the audience knows and the players know. I think that's really smart. I'm still going to call it Drive Impact. I think is one of the best mechanics in Street Fighter games, period. I still think it is good at high level. It's all over the place at low level. However, it is in this absolute sweet spot timing that after a month of scrutiny, I think is perfect. Where there was a lot of people complaining about it in the early betas and the first week of this for sure. And I don't really see that nearly as much anymore. I think DI is actually friggin' perfect, man. And the reason behind it is that countering DI still, after like 500 playing matches, playing 500 matches in this game, it still feels so good to counter somebody's Drive Impact, because what you get after is a huge ass reward. So I like it. I like it. It's not cancelable. You have to dedicate to it and, you know, really find a way to stick this stuff in. And that includes like canceling from Drive Rush out of normals. Like the amount of availability you have to do this stuff is limited to a certain degree, but it depends on how much you want to use it, because ultimately if you keep doing the same shit, people will counter you, right? People are going to counter you. What I find funny is I play Ken, right? So Ken just thrives at close range. His whole thing is close range walk speed, throw mix up, strike mix up. He is ultimate strike throw bitch in this game outside of, you know, Jury and like Cammy. I've learned a lot about the close range and have come to the conclusion that it's just Street Fighter V. The close range in this game, outside of like having a crush counter, because everything is a crush counter with punish counter now, it's more interesting because everything leads to different frame data. This game really has the close range of SF5, but better normals. So there's a bigger threat when you're doing shimmies and you're trying to play like really close range, walk in and out of the space of this and throw the opponent, whiff punish the opponent, because there's no gimpy normals anymore. So what it feels like is a more satisfying Street Fighter V close range. And I really like that. I'm glad they didn't take that away, because close range in this game is scary as shit. You legit have to guess on throws. I thought throws were like reactable, buddy. They are not. No. The throws do not feel like they're in a comfortable reactability. They feel like you had to make a call here, and you can kind of make a late call, but there's not a huge window to throw tech. The thing on everybody's mind right now is obviously throw loops, because they're back, right? Throw loops are very good in this game. It does kind of like bring down the excitement of the game when you just get your ass tossed every time, but that's a good thing. Like it's a good thing to take the throw a lot of times in Street Fighter 6, because you get damage in so many other methods, and it's kind of easy to get to that damage. So throws are difficult to tech in this game. And I don't feel like they should do what they did to Street Fighter 5 and like spread the distance after a throw so that they just don't exist anymore. I think throw loops and throws being as good as they are here because parry is godlike. Like, the more we play the game, the more we realize how good parry actually is. And much less like perfect parry, like we obviously know that shit's great. We understand why there's a damage mitigation but parry is crazy good. And when you do wake up parry, yeah, at higher ranks, man, I can't just run in and do a Oki drive rush into button, get a meaty button. No, people are perfect parrying the fuck out of that shit now. So that's where you need throws to be good, because parry is super powerful, and obviously throws will beat the parry. I really hope they integrate something like they did with Third Strike. And I think even Street Fighter V had this to a certain degree, where as soon as you get up, you can't be thrown for like a couple frames. So it naturally benefits strike in that situation. It naturally benefits you to put out like a meaty. But how does that balance against parries activating on like frame 1? Like, I don't know. I really don't have an answer for the throw loop stuff, but it is prominent and I do use it, and it's fucking hella good. And some characters like swear by it, but I think it's the one thing on the game that's kind of a blight, but I feel like it's not really a blight. It's just kind of the way it is right now. So I don't think this game needs any system changes, is what I'm trying to say. The situational buildup in Street Fighter 6 is so fucking good. To balance your super meter, to balance your green stuff, to balance the enemy's life bar and your life bar and their green stuff, and to gauge the situation where you're at on the stage, and do you see a path to victory? I like to say this every once in a while, where I got this single hit, and even though they have 75%, I'm like, the path to victory is here. I actually have it. I just have to make a few good calls, utilize my green shit in the right way, and burn them out or something, and I can fucking win this. And here's what's crazy. That happens, like, enough to be insanely satisfying. I'm gonna say this again. I've compared Street Fighter 6 to Resident Evil 2 Remake in the past when we were first playing it, how it said it, like, it feels similar but different to Street Fighter, like, and yeah, I still think that kind of stays when you play only 30 minutes of the game. But I feel like there's another element of Street Fighter 6 that is similar to Resident Evil 2 Remake. In RE2 Remake, when you first come across the Nemesis, or Mr. X, he follows you around everywhere. You always have to be like aware of his presence and deal with him, especially when you're first playing the game and you don't know, right? The interesting thing about it is you have to create a game plan. You have to like be like, all right, so I got to get from point A to point B. Hopefully he's not there. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go there. I'm going to run over. You come up with this game plan in your head because you're not going to be able to avoid him. And when you're going in that direction and doing that, it gets screwed up. Now you got to do all this shit. Oh God, I fucked up. I'm dead. Street Fighter 6, I feel like, has a very similar element to it with the drive gauge, because you go in, you have a game plan, you're looking at all this shit. I can see where I get over there. Is it gonna work? Do I get the victory? I do. I made it past Mr. X, right? However, he's always present, so you always have to be aware that they can drive rush in on you, they can drive impact you. Mr. X is gonna step on your fucking face, right? I almost feel like there's a comparison there where the game is engaging you in a way that is forcing you to come up with an existing plan or alter your plan on the fly to get a victory. So to me, I love that about Street Fighter 6. I think that's the thing I like about this game the most, is looking at that drive gauge, looking at mine, looking at their meter, where we're at on the stage. I'm pushing them to the corner. I'm gonna have to make a really good call here. And whether it's going to bait their DI, do all this kind of shit, it feels wonderful. And the reason it feels wonderful is that it isn't an immediate amount of decision making where I just got to look out for jump ins, anti-airs, like I got to play footsies, I got to look out for DI. It isn't just that. It's that you're doing all of that shit and still you have this game plan in the back of your head and you're trying to execute. You're trying to like make all of this green stuff, counter their stuff, get into the corner and bam. And we just had like a couple of matches where it was the epitome of that, where I'm down to 10% life and I get one good call and I fucking won. That to me feels like Third Strike, right? If we're talking fighting games, that is what made Third Strike so much fun, was that like, uh-oh, I'm down to 25%, time to get fucking serious. And you just start parrying shit like crazy, you start baiting parries, your path to victory is there. So anyway, it isn't like other fighting games that doesn't exist. It's just that in Street Fighter 6, with all these very, very deep, like, mechanical elements to the game, because this is a very heavy mechanics kind of game, right? You got to fight the characters and the mechanics. It's so nice when a plan works out. At the end of playing Street Fighter 6, as much as I possibly could, you know, even though 500 matches is not a lot, people play that much shit in a day. But even after that much time, I still really enjoyed just playing the game. I got to the highest rank, and I still just kind of want to keep playing because I'm having fun. And I'm thinking about playing other characters, even though there's not a ton in the core roster I'm thinking about outside of Marissa. I am very curious to see how Rashid plays and the other characters that are in Season 1. So to me, there's a path to a future where I don't want to lose my current developed skill in Street Fighter 6 to some other fighting game. I actually want to keep going and keep learning more because I'm still super rusty on a whole bunch of shit. Because I haven't gotten like 2 straight days of practice since the game came out. I always have like a day or a week in between each time I play. I'm giving Street Fighter 6 a 10 out of 10. And it's strictly on gameplay alone. I'm not even talking about visuals. I'm not even talking about music. I'm talking about, is this a game that I want to keep playing? Is this a game that is fun? Is it a game that's engaging me enough with enough things and different situational moments every single day from match to match that is making me feel like I can get better at this? I can improve in this small way, or this way, or this way, or this way, instead of the game immediately going like, well, you learned everything. Here's all the tools. Here's all the mechanics. You're now doing the best combos with all the characters. Best thing you can do now is just grind matches because good luck. And a lot of fighting games have been like that, and this game is not that way. It almost reminds me of like a Tekken, where there's so many different things to learn how to play it, that I'm just going to learn one thing every day. I'm going to try to learn one new thing every day and apply that to a new game plan. And I'm still learning. Shit. It's so much fun, man. This game is ridiculously fun.